IEEE Sprout program, we held a Python workshop yesterday. There you could learn the basics of Python programming. And today morning, you could participate in the Code Grade 1.0 competition. So I'm sure that you are eagerly waiting for the results of the competition. At the end of this session, we are going to announce the winners of the Code Grade 1.0. Therefore, stay tuned with us. Now we are going to start the last session of IEEE Sprout, the IEEE Awareness session. As I told you yesterday, the theme of IEEE Sprout this time is Let's Grow Together. So, let's grow together. I must remember you, the IEEE student branch is a novel experience to our university. Our university branch is still new. Our target is to raise the membership of our branch in our first year as an IEEE student branch. So we are always thinking about the membership development. That was the major reason for organizing IEEE Sprout this time. First of all, I invite Mr. Pivitharu Shashadara, the Treasurer of IEEE Student Branch, Southeastern University of Sri Lanka, to welcome you all and to give a brief introduction on this session.
Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the IEEE Student Branch of SEUSL, I welcome you all to the IEEE Sprout 2021. So, first of all, I would like to welcome our Student Branch Counselor, Chair Professor, Electrical and Electronic Engineering, MA LA Halim. Then, I would like to welcome our guest speaker, Mr. Didrojananjay, Intern Project Manager RIMAC, and Chairman Membership Development Subcommittee, Student Activity Committee. And our next student guest speaker, Mr. Tilna Madagara, from Application Engineer from Synopsys Private Limited, former IESL President, Southeastern University of Sri Lanka. Finally, I would like to welcome you all to this great evening. I know, like most of the participants are yesterday also participated in the event. They know about what Sprout, but I will give a brief introduction what it is all about. The IEEE Sprout is a membership development program which is aimed to provide an opportunity to SEUSL students to become more aware of the importance and benefits of the IEEE membership as a student as well as in the industry. So thank you very much, and I welcome you all again. Ganesha, audience is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Pivitharu. Next, my invitation goes to the Counselor of IEEE Student Branch of Southeastern University of Sri Lanka, Professor Mohammed Halim, to explain you about IEEE and its background.
Good evening, guests of honor and students. The organizers of this event of Sprout. It is a pleasure to have an opportunity to give a speech to you all regarding the IEEE in general and the importance of the students to get involved and how they can build up their career. For that, how the IEEE organization will help. Let me share. I have a set of slides here. Right. So I am MA Halim, a professor of electrical and electronic engineering, also the student branch counselor at Southeastern University of Sri Lanka at the moment. As the moderator Ganesha mentioned, our IEEE student branch is still new. So we formed the student branch as of, it was officially approved as of March 23rd this year. There were many staff members, starting with the Dean Faculty of Engineering and the heads of the departments of Electrical and Telecommunication Engineering and Computer Science and Engineering. They were like very helpful in getting the application approved. In fact, the process was started more than a year ago, but for some whatever reasons, it was kind of stagnating. But recently, all got interested, and with the help of the staff members and enthusiastic students, we were able to get sufficient number of student members, and then as well as sufficient number of staff members in order to get the application approved. Now here are some names of the students who, some of them are like from the senior batch who are already in the industry working. And then also IEEE Sri Lanka section, the chair, Dr. Zanayaka, and then the student activity chair, engineer Mara Singha, they were supporting us so much all along the process of the application, getting the approval, and even thereafter, there were a series of events organized by the student branch. So we received support from the Sri Lanka section and the officers therein. So here are some of the mileages we achieved, right? So the beginning, there was a participation in an international competition, IEEE Signal Processing Cup, and then our students did well. And then we had our annual general meeting so as to formalize our activities. And then from there on, our students and officers have participated in many voluntary activities. And then they benefited from many workshops conducted by other IEEE student branch around the country, right? So we have been benefiting from all the events going on under Sri Lanka section. And recently there was this membership drive. It was a island-wide event with all the universities participating, all the universities with the student branch contributed to that program, and then Southeastern University played a role, and then I think they won grants from that event. Now this IEEE Sprout is followed from that. So this current event is towards giving an orientation to the newcomers, right? So there are non-members, yesterday and today, there were a large number of students from the later batches, E17, E18, and so on, participating in our Sprout program, right? So the Python programming workshop, I hope it has been very beneficial. And then there was a competition following that workshop, and then that is an enjoyable event. And then during this event, the last item in the series of events, so you will be witnessing the winners of the competition and so on. Now, in order to give the newcomers a short introduction to IEEE, so IEEE stands for Institute of Electrical and Electronic Engineers. It is at the beginning, it used to be IRE, Institute of Radio Engineers. At those days, the radio needed electronics, so the advancement of electronics. So mainly kind of due to the use of radio systems and wireless communication by the world population. And then later on, electronics advanced and got into other fields in electrical and electronic engineering, such as power electronics, right? And then biotechnology and computer engineering, all sort of fields, control systems, everywhere electronics became a major component. So with that, IEEE became a much wider organization with several societies included. So there are many societies, each society dedicated to one particular special branch of electrical and electronic engineering, and also fields such as computer science and computer engineering, biotechnology, all of that. Now, as you see in this slide, now IEEE at the moment is the world's largest technical professional organization, and it is dedicated to advancing technology for the benefit of humanity. So you see the logo of IEEE here, advancing technology for humanity. So all the members, that is the goal. So we strive to perfect the technologies, right, and the know-how for the benefit of the humanity as a whole, right? And then in terms of the numbers, there are more than 396,000 members across 160 countries. And there are vast number of highly cited publications, conferences, technology standards, and professional and educational activities, all under this IEEE organization. Now, when it comes to standards, now those who are in the industry know about standards. So, for example, the Wi-Fi system that we are using right now, I am using Wi-Fi, right? So it is IEEE 802.11, right? That standard has been kind of finalized by IEEE. Now there are many such standards for local area networks and various communication system, computer engineering. So all those standards are usually processed and published by IEEE. Of course, there are many industry partners and partners from academia contributing to the perfection of technological standards, but it's under the IEEE the guidance. Okay. Now IEEE is the trusted voice for engineers. It is considered that way. Engineering, computing, and technology, and information around the globe. Okay. Now, there is a structure to IEEE. So there is a dual complementary regional and technical structure, right? So when you say regional, so there are geographic regions, right, under the IEEE. Now there are 10 such regions. So we are part of region 10, Asia. And then now there is region 8, for example, that is Europe, Middle East, and North Africa, something like that. So before I became the counselor here, I was a counselor for a IEEE student branch in Saudi Arabia, that part of region 8. Now within each region there are local section. Now Sri Lankan section is one of them. So India, there is a section, right? And then under those sections there are chapters, right? In Sri Lanka there are several chapters comprised of local members with similar technical interests. So a chapter for communication, chapter for computer engineering, like that. And then there are societies and technical councils that compose technical divisions, right? And then there are student branches, so that we are part of this. So that usually at colleges and universities around the world. And under the student branches, we can form chapters and affinity groups, like there are affinity groups for special interests such as women's activities, right? Some particular technical activity. So you can form those such chapters and affinity groups in the future. Okay, now this slide shows you the set of most of the societies under the IEEE. Now you can see the list. It is very extensive and it keeps growing. Now from the beginning there is a society for aerospace and electronic systems, and then there is one for antenna and propagation, and there is one for broadcast technology, right? Communication society. Some are broad like communication, and computer society, and then now some are kind of addressing very specific areas like electromagnetic compatibility problems, right? So there is a society for electron devices. So you can read it. Now this information all available online. You can go through. I will show you some sample links where you can get more information about all the activities under IEEE. Right, so there are very general ones also. Here you will see there's an education society. So that's a very general topic. Anybody can participate, in fact, right? So then the most of them are, of course, technology, right? Science, engineering and technology. So that's what they are about. And then what are the benefits of IEEE student activities, right? So now we are very active in our student branch. So what are the benefits to the students? So now you already see the benefits. Now we are organizing workshops, that is beneficial for all the participants. But then there are other many programs under the IEEE from which we can benefit. There are scholarship programs, so there are section fundings, and we are actually getting some grants for our activities from the section, Sri Lanka section. And then if you participate in competition, you can win certificates and monetary awards, right? And then you may get student travel grants if you submit papers to conferences and seminars, international and national, and then you will get funds for you to travel, right? And then there are fellowship programs. Now I will show you some of the highlights in my membership with IEEE and what I got from them. So I used to get student travel grants in my postgraduate studies. When we were submitting papers, I got the air tickets and accommodation, everything from the IEEE to travel to, for example, Singapore and United States, etc. Okay, so here are some of the website you may want to check out. So you can see I have a sample of websites here. Let me share that page. So you can see here the tabs, right? So you can find out what is IEEE, right? What is the mission and vision of it, and what are the strategic plans, and how the IEEE is organized, right? What are the ethics in the organizational ethics within IEEE? What is history? Everything can be found using this About tab. And then the membership. If you want to join IEEE, there are categories of memberships, right? You will be at the beginning enrolling as a student member, right? And once you join once you join as a student member, then you can join to the other societies under this IEEE, right? There you can choose any number of societies. So additional charges are very nominal, like $1 or so for each society. And then all the information about what follows after become a member, those things are there, right? So there is about communities, conferences, and the standards, right? We can download standards, right? We want to learn about particular technology, right? And then there are publications and there are programs. Everything can be found in this site, for example, right? Right, so here is another one, right? You can access various IEEE websites that support member and geographic activities, publication, conferences, and events, right? So you should, even without becoming a member, you can access these websites and learn a lot, and there will be a lot of material for you to benefit from, right? So there is information about 5G, all these IEEE initiatives, co-sponsors, etc. Now, by the way, there is another organization called IET, Institute of Engineering Technology. Initially, it was IEEE, that is Institute of Electrical Engineers. That is in UK, whereas IEEE headquarters is in US, New Jersey. Now, anyhow, this IET and IEEE have a lot of collaborations. So, for example, this IEEE Explore, that is the huge database which archives all the publications, journal publications, conference proceedings from both IEEE and IEEE. So there are collaborations between these two organizations. So becoming a member of IEEE will get you benefits from IET as well. Right, let me switch back to my PowerPoint. So now I became a member in 1994 as a postgraduate student. So the student membership, and then later I became a associate member after graduation, and when I started working, and then became a regular member, and then at this moment I'm a senior member. So after the senior membership, then it will be the fellowship, right? So becoming a fellowship may be a little bit challenging. It just needs more time and effort towards IEEE activities. Now, as a senior member, we receive a plaque like this. Once you become just showing you these things. So now recently I received a certificate of recognition for my standing as a senior member, right? Senior member in good standing through December 2018. Right? So they sent this kind of appreciation. So there were many things I gained from being a member of IEEE. So here are some of them. So I regularly participate in international workshops and the educational program. So this is one such program I completed, RF measurement challenges for emerging 5G and millimeter wave devices. And now this is one of the awards I got in one of the conferences, of course, many years ago, 2006. And then we had travel grants as well, in my early membership era. This is one of the certificates I received in 1994. Right, so that is just to highlight how you can benefit if you keep at it. Once you become the member, if you participate in activities and go to conferences, seminars, and write papers to journals, etc., how you can benefit. So there are many things. So if you participate in a conference, your registration fee will be reduced, right? You may get grants, so all those benefits are there. Now, so especially regard to student branch activities. So there are websites showcasing IEEE student best practices, right? You can go to that website and see how the student branches are organized and what are the regulations and what's the structure is. All that you can read and understand and follow throughout your activities as a IEEE student branch, as IEEE student member. Okay, and now so we have witnessed our IEEE student branch, like other student branches within the country, have become very active. So we are proceeding with our events, right? So we participate in the workshops, and then we benefit from that, and we are organizing activities from which other students can benefit. We have fun, right? Having gatherings and discussions, all that is great. So this is useful, and then it is very important for us to log all of our activities regularly, so that at the end of the year we have to submit annual report. So these things are being taken care of by the team, the member teams in offices they are in. Now I want to take this branch a level to the next level. So what is involved in that? So there are possibilities. So I have just listed a few here. One is the project initiatives, right? Other one is the participation in international competitions, right? And then involvement in taking the technology to community. So maybe this is a little bit more challenging. Now, when I say project initiatives, now our students do senior year project at the end of the year for 2 semesters. So there are outcomes, and of course all the students write journal papers, go to conferences. Sometimes they come up with ideas which are patentable. All these happen. However, as a member of IEEE student branch, so as a team, what we can do is we can have a different sort of project. So these projects can start not at in the final year. It can start, for example, in the sophomore year, the second year. You can start early on. Once you choose your fields, you can start some project based on some good ideas. You can discuss with the teachers and industry specialists, and come up with some long-term plan, like a project you can do for several years, and then when it matures towards the final year, that can produce something which can be taken to a good international competition. So that is the way it should be done. So you can participate in an international competition, right? And then that will give us a chance to go to stages where you can see what others are doing, right? So what kind of activities, what kind of projects other students are doing around the world, and then you may get a chance to win prizes. So that will give you more exposure and recognition to our branches and to the Sri Lanka section. And the other thing is the involvement in taking the technology to community. So we can organize at the moment, of course, due to the situation, we cannot have gatherings and so on, but we can organize, we can plan out things such that when the opportunity comes, we can start such activities. So there are many things we can do. There are examples in the IEEE websites you can go and see. And I remember the chairman of Sri Lanka section presented some pictures in the AGM regarding some interesting activities in an African country. So the IEEE student branch actually went to a community and installing some solar panels for some community center or something like that. So we can come up with new, kind of innovative ideas from which the communities can benefit. So this is there. Right. So here I am showing now, as I mentioned, I have been the counselor for IEEE student branch at University of Hail, Saudi Arabia before coming here. They were also kind of new. So we actually formed it when I was there. And then I have some highlights showing what kind of activities those students got involved. This is the inauguration meeting. Of course, it started with a small group, myself here and our head of the department, and then the founder members here. Now, it is very, I'm very glad to see that when we started our student branch, the founder member pool was much larger, like we had close to 50, right? So that was a very good thing, right? Now we hope that will keep growing. So we started this student branch, and then there was some competition to design these logos. I think we still have to do this one. So maybe we can come up with multiple designs for the student branch logos, and then choose one, and even that can be a nice event, right? Then the students afterwards had community involvement. What they used to do every year, they bring in a group of students from the nearby high schools with their teachers, bring into the university, and then they show around some interesting labs and the projects they do in the labs. So that was a good series of events. And then beyond that, the final year students, as I mentioned, they completed their projects and then took it to the regional conferences. There is one conference, GCC SYP, right? It is Student and Young Professional Conference. I think there are such conferences in our region also, region 10. So you can do that as well, right? So you can come up with a perfected project which can be presented in a nice conference, so that you can participate and win accolades if possible. Right now, here is a picture. This participating student is demonstrating his project to the audience, right? And that student is somewhere here in this photo. Then at the end, he got certificates and came back. Now, also here is a poster the student prepared at the end of the year, highlighting all their activities. Now, this is the approval letter, and then the inauguration meeting, and the events throughout the year, like whatever the parties they had, right? Whatever the seminars and visiting of this high school students program and their international activities. So summarizing everything, they prepared posters. So these posters were used at many places. For example, when there was a orientation program for the new students in the university, so the engineering faculty also was called in, they were participating. So in that booth, so IEEE student branch had a representation. They bring that summary poster and the member stands there and then tell about IEEE student branch, things like that. Okay, so I think I gave you a flavor of what IEEE and what is IEEE student branch for the newcomers. So hopefully this will interest you and you may see the benefits and then the importance of getting involved. There are many things I can say, once you become a member, that has many benefits. One of them is you can get connected with the specialists, like professionals all around the world. So that will boost your career. So your job opportunities will increase, etc. So I hope our student branch will progress fast and then we will get to the next level. So with that, I will stop my speech here and let the remaining items in the program to continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And also, I again invite Professor Muhammad Halim to accept his token of appreciation.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, IEEE Student Branch, Southeastern University of Sri Lanka.
Thank you again, sir. Invited Mr. Vidura Dhananjaya, the Chairperson, Membership Development Subcommittee, Student Activity Committee 2021. Let me brief our J. Bandara, an alumnus of Ananda College University, is a determined, hard-working journey as a student member of IEEE Student Branch of General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University and has been volunteering in IEEE for nearly 4 years. He has previously volunteered as a secretary team member, lead of Techno Meetups 2018-2019, the program team lead in IEEE INSL 2019 and the chairman of IEEE INSL 2020. He is currently holding the roles as the co-chair of IEEE Young Professionals Let's Talk and the chairman of Membership Development Subcommittee of Student Activities Committee 2021. He is currently employed as an intern project manager at ERIMA. So, Mr. Vidura, over to you.
Hello, I hope you guys can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see.
Yeah, all good. And into that, okay, cool. And I hope you guys can see me as well.
Yes, we can see.
I'm a bit like fugly these days because I have all shaved my head. Okay, let's get back to this. Cool. So first of all, I would like to thank Vipula and his committee for inviting me for this session, and Professor Halim for always giving the really good introductions about IEEE, the sessions that I have been here. So with that, let's start. First of all, let me tell who I am. I'm Vidura Bandara, and I'm a CS undergraduate of General Sir John Kotalawala Defence University. I don't think I can still call myself as an undergraduate anymore. And I'm the Membership Development Subcommittee Chairman for IEEE Student Section Student Activities Committee for this year, as well as I'm the co-chairman of IEEE Young Professionals Let's Talk, as well the upskill program in here in Sri Lanka. And I'm one of the most valuable volunteer award winners in STEM Up Education Foundation. And as per today, I have way more than 4 years of experience as an IEEE volunteer in section and international level as well. With that, let's see what IEEE brings to you. Monada IEEE ඕගොල්ලෝ වෙනුවෙන් ගේන්නේ. පළවෙනි දේ. මොනවාද ඕගොල්ලන්ට IEEE වලින් ඕනේ? ඕගොල්ලෝ IEEE වලින් මොනවාද බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ? What you guys expect from IEEE? We have the chat box. I think host chat box is all good to go, I guess, right?
Yes, they can put in.
Awesome. So please type what you guys want to take out from IEEE. ඕගොල්ලන්ට මොනවාද IEEE වලින් ඕනේ? 1 2 3 ඉක්මන type කරලා. type කරලා දානවා මොනවාද ඕගොල්ලන්ට IEEE වලින් ඕනේ කියන්නේ. ඔයගොල්ලන් බලන්න. තාම මට මුකුත් පේන්නේ නැහැ. ඒ කියන්නේ කාටවත් IEEE වලින් මුකුත් එපාද? So nobody wants anything from IEEE. Recognition, yes. What else? Skills are very good. Volunteer time, yes. It's good. Scholarships, exactly. We need good ideas for future development, yes. Scholarships again. Okay, we can go for like 2 more suggestions. Experience and opportunities, we can go for another one. What else you guys want? Research, yes. So career guidance as well, yeah. Qualifications, yes. So basically these are what we are covering from IEEE. Being the largest professional organization in the world, we brings recognition, career guidance, reputation, as well as being with the all professionals in education industry as well, and being the world's biggest research partner for all the conferences and journals. We provide scholarships as well, all the guidance towards your goal. As you can see here, reputation of being a recognized professional body. Loke tiyena lokuma professional organization එකේ member කෙනෙක් කියන්නේ it's a really big thing. ඒක ඉතාමත්ම ලොකු recognition එකක් ඕගොල්ලන්ට. Even you can put it in your CV. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ CV එකේ පවා ඒක දාන්න පුළුවන්. And then what's next? Tools for organizational efforts and administration. කොහොමද organization එක run කරන්නේ? How I can manage an organization? How I can run an organization? How well I can work with an organization? මේ හැමදේම ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් IEEE ඇතුලේ. ඔක්කොටම ඕන කරන හැම tool එකම IEEE වල තියෙනවා. තව මොනවාද? Academic resources and career guidance. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් IEEE Explorer ගිහිල්ලා හැම යුනිවර්සිටි එකකම Explorer access තියෙනවා. IEEE Explorer ගිහිල්ලා ඔයගොල්ලන්ට ඕන කරන ඕනම જાතියක research paper එකක් ඕනම වෙලාවක බලන්න. ඒ වගේම තමයි career guidance. ඕගොල්ලන්ට අපි ගත්තොත් ලංකා ශ්‍රී ලංකන් section එක අපි විශේෂයෙන්ම ලොකු program එකක් කරනවා වෙනුවෙන් ඒ තමයි IEEE Sprout Pro. IEEE Sprout Pro වලින් ඕගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ career එක කොහොමද shape up කරගන්නේ, මොනවද අපි apply කරන්නේ, මොනවද skills මම හදාගන්න ඕනේ, කොහොමද මම මගේ career එක undergraduate කාලෙදිම plan කරගන්නේ. ඔය හැමදේම you can learn from IEEE Sprout Pro in Sri Lanka. So basically, in Sri Lankan section, we provide you a way better career guidance than other sections comparatively. And competitions. We have worldwide competitions. Loke purayana competitions. May dinawali tama janapriyama competition eka IEEE Extreme. So you guys have IEEE Extreme worldwide competitive programming competition, which is happening in here in IEEE. So basically, being an IEEE member gives you that opportunity to join and compete with the world. Loket ekkama තරඟ කරන්න, loket එක්ක හැප්පිලා මම මොනවද තව හදාගන්න ඕනේ, මම කොතනද ඉන්නේ, ලෝකෙට යන්න මම මොනවද කරන්න ඕනේ, ඒ හැම දෙයක්ම තේරුම් අරගෙන ඔයගොල්ලන්ට improve වෙන්න තියෙන හොඳම අවස්ථාව. මම හිතන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ විපුලම අප්ඩේට් කරපු විදිහට ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ දිනවල ඒ සඳහා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන ගමන් තමයි ඉන්නේ. ඒ නිසා ඒක ඇත්තටම වටිනවා මේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එක. මොකද මේ ප්‍රැක්ටිස් එකෙන් තමයි අත්‍තරම at the end of the day ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේ කම්පිටිෂන් එක පාටිසිපේට් කරන්නේ. මමත් ලංකාවේ පළවෙනි 100 දෙනා වගේ අතුලට ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන. ඊට පස්සේ මම වෙන කෝඩ් කරලා නැහැ එක්ස්ට්‍රීම් එකේදී. මම I was within first 100 in Sri Lanka. And I didn't code after that. So yeah, you guys can be way better than that. In some අනිවාර්යෙන් ඒක participate කරන්න. හැබැයි IEEE Extreme එක participate කරන IEEE member කෙනෙක් වෙලා ඉන්නවා. අන්න ඒ සඳහා ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් membership එක ලබා ගන්න. membership එක $27ක් වෙනවා. හැබැයි මෙන්න මේ code එක use කරලා ඔයගලන්ට පුළුවන් ඒ සම්පූර්ණ අවුරුද්දේ membership එක ඩොලර් 13.5කට ලබා ගන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ full half price ඔයගලන්ට membership එක ගන්න හැකියාවක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම තමයි IEEE වලින් තව මොනවාද ඔයගලන්ට ගේන්නේ? IEEE වලින් ඔයගලන්ට awards and recognition. අපේ කලින් අවුරුද්දේ SSR එකකින් sectional representative මගේ හොඳ මිත්‍රයා චාමික ගිය අවුරුද්දේ scholarship එකක් ගත්තා. රිචඩ් E මර්වින් scholarship. ඒක හම්බෙන්නේ computer society එකට. ඒ වගේ scholarships ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේම awards තියෙනවා. ඒ awards වලට apply කරන්න පුළුවන්. මේ අවුරුද්දේ අපේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා section එකේ last year SAC chairman. So last year SAC chairman of the section, Mr. Prashant Sampath, was able to be in the honorable nominations of most outstanding volunteer in region. ඒ වගේ අපිට region level, MGA level, section level awards ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. ඒවා හැම එකටම ඔයාලා apply කරන්න. ඒවා හම්බෙනවා නම් if you can win an award in IEEE, an award in the biggest professional body in the world, just imagine your value goes from here to here. ඔයගලගේ value එක වැඩි වෙන්නේ මේ වගේ award එකක් ගන්න හම්බුනොත්. ඒ වගේම තමයි as a member you will get travel grants, scholarships, humanitarian projects, conferences, as well as awards. As a volunteer, you can shape up your soft skills, professional skills, as well interpersonal skills, leadership skills. මේ වගේ skills වෙනම හදාගන්න පුළුවන් as a volunteer, as a member වෙනම benefits ටිකක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. Being a member as well as a volunteer, all together you guys become really most outstanding undergraduate than your peers. And when we talk about why you should volunteer for IEEE, ඇයි ඕගොල්ලෝ IEEE වලට volunteer කරන්න ඕනේ? කාටරි මොකරි idea එකක් තියෙනවද ඇයි volunteer කරන්න කියලා? Chat box is there. I am here. I want to know why you need to volunteer. ඇයි ඔයගලන්ට volunteer කරන්න ඕනේ කියන එක ගැන ඔයගොල්ලෝ පුළුවන් නම් දැන් chat එකේ type කරලා ඉවන්න. ඇයි මම volunteer කරන්න ආස? ඇයි මම මේක කරන්නේ? ඉන්නවා ඔයගොල්ලෝ මොනවද තියෙන උත්තර කියන්න. ඇයි ඔයගොල්ලෝ volunteer කරන්න කැමති? මට තාම මුකුත් පේන්නේ නැහැ. I can't see anything yet. I just asked why you guys need to volunteer if you guys improve soft skills. Yeah, that's a really good point. Cool. Okay, no worries. Don't worry. To grow my network, yeah, because yeah, definitely it will appear in the CV sheet. So being an award winner in STEM Up as most valuable volunteer, it really raised my value from like 10x. So basically it's really good. Networking, build up my soft skills, work with resource persons, definitely. What else? ඔයගොල්ලෝ කාට හරි හිතනවද volunteering වලින් ඔයගොල්ලෝ කර ඉන්න career එක වෙනස්ම පැත්තකට ගෙනියන්න පුළුවන් කියලා? Do you guys really think being in volunteering that your career will take into a whole new level? If you guys think, just type yes. Yes. Let's hope so. Okay. Yeah. I will tell you my story then. I was a programmer, a software engineer. Starting from 2016, I worked as a software engineer. And then in 2020, when I became the chairman of Innovation Meeting Sri Lanka, I started seeing things differently. Actually, I was able to see things differently back in the day, even when I was starting IEEE in 2018. But I was being engaged with IEEE stuff since 2015. So my career for 4 years was a software engineer, and I wanted to become a senior software engineer by the graduation, because altogether I have around 5 years of experience of being a software engineer. But what happened was the next cool thing. I was good at that, but I was not in love with it. Mama software engineering එකේ හොඳට කරගෙන හිටියා, but මම ඒකට ආදරෙන් කැමැත්තෙන් ඒ profession එක කරා කියලා හිතුවේ නැහැ. Just because of money or because it's a good thing, you have that recognition in Sri Lanka for that. I think that was the reason why I became a software engineer in the first place. And then I started finding what I actually like. want to do, but actually good at. මම මොකද්ද ඇත්තටම ආස මම මොනවද ඇත්තටම කරන්න හදන්නේ කියන දේ මම හොයනකොට මට IEEE volunteering වලින් මට තේරුණා මට හරියන්නේ සහ මම කරන්න ආස and what I am good at is project management. So I became an IT professional as a project manager at Harimac. So basically what I did was I had my set of skills which I have been practicing for years. මගේ අවුරුදු ගානක් practice කරපු software engineering skill set එක තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ IEEE volunteering වලින් හදාගත්ත project management skill set එක තියෙනවා. ඒ දෙක එකතු කරලා IT project management, one of the most highest paying jobs in the world, IT project management. So basically with this IEEE volunteering for Sri Lankan section national projects made me who I am today in career. And ඒ නිසා ඒ වගේ දේවල් ඔයගලගේ මුළු career එකම change කරනවා volunteering වලින්. When it's come to volunteering, why you need to volunteer? To gain confidence, to be a leader, to gain confidence, to talk in front of many people like this. I have been hosted events in temple trees. Aralina Mandire mag event host කරලා තියෙනවා. මගේ ඉස්කෝලේ කරලා තියෙනවා. campus එකේ කරලා තියෙනවා, section එකේ කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒ ඔක්කොම පටන් ගත්තේ ඉස්කෝලේ කාලේ චුටි කරගෙන හිටියා. ඒ ඔක්කොම පටන් ගත්තේ මේ confidence එක build වුණාට පස්සේ. නැත්නම් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් කෙනෙක්ට කියලා මන්දිරේ එහෙම event එකක් host කරන්න බෑ. I was actually hosting a Microsoft event. Now just imagine how big it was. I had that confidence which I got from volunteering. Confidence builds when you are okay to do mistakes and you are learning from mistakes. Volunteering is a playground. Volunteering can be a playground where you guys can do mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and admit all the learnings to the next step. And that's the most best thing in volunteering. ඒක තමයි volunteering වල තියෙන හොඳම දේ. හොඳටම volunteering කරන්න යන්නේ ඒ විදිහට. ඒ කියන්නේ ඕගොල්ලෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න දේ. ඕගොල්ලෝ ඊළඟ step එකට apply කරනවා. So basically you can make a difference in the local communities. ඔයගොල්ලන්ට පුළුවන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ local communities වල වෙනසක් ඇති කරන්න. When I was starting, our student branch was not doing really good. When I was starting my year as a chairman in SB, I had me around 3 to 5 members. When I was handing it over to my junior batch, which they are doing tremendously great these days in KDU branch is doing tremendously great after all those years. Now they are doing really, really well. And when I was handing it over to them, I was able to have around 68 to 78 members. Guys, remember this. You guys started your student branch with almost 50 members. Just imagine where you guys can be. You guys are the first student branch I have seen in my life so far who started a branch with almost 50 members. You guys are amazing. You guys are really amazing. And you guys, the passion of you guys are really good. So basically, you guys can turn this IEEE scene in Sri Lanka to a whole new level. So please do that, as Professor Halim previously mentioned. And then I'm going to tell you where you can volunteer. In IEEE Sri Lankan section, we have so much of projects in national level as well as we have some in international level as well. So when it's come to IEEE Sri Lankan section Congress, this is the most amazing and the most key landmarking event in section. It's the Congress where everyone coming together, doing all the stuff and all. And you guys have international projects such as Innovation Nation Sri Lanka and SEUSL Inspire. And you have techno meetups. All these events have their own lineups. Section Congress, it's about networking and bringing the glory to the section. And when it's come to Innovation Nation Sri Lanka, it's all about being an entrepreneur and building the nation in an entrepreneurial way. And when it's come to techno meetup, it's about sharing the knowledge in technology and all. And when it's come to SL Inspire, it's about building the next generation. As well, we have young professional Sri Lankan projects as well, such as Let's Talk, Should Pro, Edge Sri Lanka, and Y2N Pro. And well, we have some special events like Upskill, that which is happening these days, yesterday and tomorrow. And we have student branch events as well. So you guys can start from your branch today, and where you guys can come to the next level as national level volunteers, then become leaders, then become secretary or chairman, and then join to SAC or YP. Volunteering more the special way. ඔයගොල්ලෝ වැරද්දක් කරොත් ඔෆිස් එකක, ඔයගොල්ලෝ වැරද්දක් කරොත් ඔෆිස් එන්වයරන්මන්ට් එකක ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන්ම ඉෆෙක්ට් වෙනවා ඔයගොල්ලන්ගේ කරියර් එකට. ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ෆයර් කරන්න පුළුවන් ඔයගොල්ලන්ව. හැබැයි volunteering වල you will not be get fired. So you guys can do mistakes, learn from those mistakes, and become a really good profession in industry. And you guys can like explore new opportunities. I started my volunteer career not in IEEE. I started my volunteer career back in the day, way back in the day, in 2017, with an organization called Road to Rights. I became the head of social media department. I was a graphic designer back in the day, so I was able to do some stuff. I started my volunteering career as a graphic designer, and then I joined TEDx. You guys know TED Talks, right? We have TEDx Sri Lanka here in Colombo. I joined TEDx Colombo as a volunteer then. Then I joined to Microbit Educational Foundation, I guess. No, Microbit Sri Lanka user group. And then I joined to STEM Up Education Foundation, and then IEEE. I started my volunteer career as a graphic designer, then a networking volunteer, then secretary team volunteer, then a project managing volunteer, then a lead, then a chairman, now in SAC, which is addressing all the universities in Sri Lanka and like making new people from who you are today. I'm gonna make a new person from you, from who you are today. So that's how you experiment with new stuff. Like that, you can learn a lot of things, become special. And then, as I was previously mentioned as well, Sir previously mentioned, we have this so much of networking accessories in IEEE, like IEEE Collaboratech, IEEE TV, and Facebook groups, as well as Instagram. In IEEE Collaboratech, this is a very good key point where you guys can expand your horizons with all the networking stuff. You can network with people, you can collaborate with people, and all the tech experts, and any person you want to meet will be there. ඕනම expert කෙනෙක් IEEE Collaboratech ඇතුලේ ඉන්නවා. Collaboratech platform එක මෙන්න මේ වගේ ඔයාලට පුළුවන් මේ platform එකට join වෙලා ඔයාලන්ට ඕන දෙයක් කරගන්න. මේ ඔක්කොම ඔයාලගේ IEEE membership එකත් එක්ක free හම්බෙන දේවල්. ඒ වගේම තමයි V-Tools. ඔයාලන්ට V-Tools වල ගොඩක් දේවල් හම්බෙනවා. V-Tools තමයි IEEE වල අපි use කරන main tool set එක. මේකේ ඔයාලන්ට තියෙනවා events තියෙනවා, OU analytics, ඒ කියන්නේ organizational unit analytics තියෙනවා, surveys තියෙනවා, conference and screening තියෙනවා, officer reporting තියෙනවා, branch reporting තියෙනවා. ඒ වගේ ගොඩාක් දේවල් මේකේ තියෙනවා. You guys have so much of stuff that I have mentioned here in these V-Tools. This is the volunteer.IEEE.org. All the volunteering opportunities globally are mentioned here and listed here. So if you want to go globally at once, please go there and register there, and just go and hunt some good opportunities. And then we have again this NG tools. I'm not going to go through really deep with these. You guys have event snapshot. In V-Tools, you guys can see which event is happening on when. And then we have OU Analytics, or your chairman can go and check how much of volunteers we have, how much of memberships we have, how well we are doing, all the analytics regarding your organizational duties. That means your student branch will be there. And then we have surveys and remote conferences and all. And when you developing a website for your student branch, you IEEE provide you free web hosting. So you guys can go to this site .IEEE.org web hosting request and put a request to get that hosting for your student branch. And when it comes to sorry, I think my dog is like going so crazy. So if you guys getting noise, I'm sorry for that. And you guys can do all the branch reporting and officer reporting, which is really crucial to get your rebates as well as all the monetary support from IEEE, because all these reports have to be there to show that you have done something. If you can't prove what you have done, that means you haven't done it. I know you guys are like doing your 101% to make these events a success, but still, if you can't prove that you have the people who have done it and you have done it and these are the numbers, it's no longer valid. So documenting and reporting is really, really crucial. It's paramount important when it's come to professional stuff. And then you guys have membership validator as well as other tools as well. You can be an IEEE brand ambassador and learn about IEEE way better, and then you guys can become the brand ambassadors of IEEE by yourself. And here, just a snapshot of IEEE brand experience and stuff. This is the strategic plan for IEEE 2020 to 2025. And in the strategic plan, we basically think about our core values like the trust that we're building with each other, as well as the global community and growing together, and the partnerships and serving for injustice and all, and being good with humanity. So in here, what we do is we make the advancement of technology for the greater good. That means for the humanity. So basically, in the strategic plan, we mainly focuses on how well we can do better than today, using our knowledge as well as the improvement in technology. And then when it's come to groups here, the Sri Lankan groups of IEEE Sri Lanka section, please go ahead and join there. There are plenty of opportunities as well as all the events we are posting there. So you guys can be like up to date anytime with these groups. And then at last, what I have to say is be inspired, be engaged, and encouraged to empower others as well as yourself. Signing off with Rudananche.
Thank you so much. Again, I would like to invite Mr. Vidrudananje to accept the token of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Again, thank you for your contribution, Mr. Vidura. Next, I would like to invite Engineer Thilina Madagama to explain you benefits of IEEE in the industry. Let me brief him to you. Thilina Madagama is an alumnus of Sri Rahula College and Anuradhapura Central College, and also he is a proud product of Southeastern University of Sri Lanka. Thilina Madagama is a talented, ambitious, and hardworking electrical and electronic engineer with excellent skills, keen on learning new technological enhancements. He was the former IESL Young Members Section Chairman at Southeastern University of Sri Lanka. He was a former trainee engineer at Mobitel Engineering Division, and he is currently an application engineer at Synopsys Lanka Private Limited. So, Engineer Thilina Madagama, over to you.
Thank you. I think I'm audible. Good evening, all of you. I'm really happy about this opportunity to talk with you guys. Like the introduction was, I'm from your university. I'm from the 12 bed, and when I see the participant list today, I see some 19 guys as well. So at the moment, I'm feeling a bit old. Anyhow, let me go to the topic we are speaking today, the impact of IEEE in the industry. Let me start my session by asking you a question. What makes a good engineer? What do you think? When we are in the university, we always used to say that universities are supposed to prepare us for the outside world. Outside world means the industry. So how is university preparing a student to the outside world? So as all the speakers was explaining, IEEE provides a great platform for you guys. It helps you to develop your technical skills as well as soft skills. As a person, I'm I have only 3 years experience in the industry, but from that little experience, what I can say is that having a very good technical skills are important, but it should be followed up by a lot of soft skills if you are succeed in the industry. That's where a professional body like IEEE comes into play. Because when you are volunteering with a professional body like IEEE, when you are participating in the events or when you are participating in the competitions, it provides you a big platform to improve your soft skills. You can develop your leadership skills. It helps you to take responsibility in volunteering, and it helps you a great bit to develop your communication skills. Now, in one of my sessions with you guys, I said that when in the industry, if you are kind of having a great technical skill, and if you have first class, and if you are in an interview, and if you can't market yourself, or if you can't showcase your skills to the person who is interviewing you, that first class wouldn't matter. So soft skills has a great impact when you are in the industry, and IEEE provides you a great platform to increase those soft skills. Now, something I always see now when we are talking with our young engineers is that they are asking, how is the recognition for our university in the outside industry? Like, are we recognized well? So first of all, a recognition doesn't come from how old your university is. A recognition comes from what you do in the industry. And IEEE provides you a platform to recognize yourself to the people in the industry, because when you are participating or volunteering in an IEEE event, you get to meet different individuals. You get to meet people from the other universities. You get to meet people from different companies, and you get to interact with them. And so you get a platform to showcase your talent, and people from the industry can see these talents, and it helps to build up a good recognition for you guys. So that's another great help or great importance that IEEE provides in the perspective of an industry. So what I can say is now there are a lot of competitions and a lot of events that you guys participated to IEEE. And when in the industry, when you are talking with the customer, now if you have a great code, or let's say you are building a very advanced electronic circuit, okay, and but you have the skill, but you doesn't have the confidence to communicate it better with your customers, then how better your circuit is doesn't matter if you can't showcase that. For that, you have to have a great self-confidence, which you can gain through IEEE, because first of foremost everything, you should have a great self-confidence about your skills. So for that, you have to make mistakes and get through them. IEEE provides, as Vidura said earlier, IEEE provides a great platform to make mistakes and to see how we can face those mistakes and take responsibility to them and see the solution we can go through them. So these are very few things you can get from a platform like IEEE, and I think there is a large number of things you can get from IEEE. Like Vidura said, there are a lot of libraries which can help you to improve your technical skills. So I think you guys are very lucky to have IEEE collaboration with you guys in your university time, because we didn't have that. And we wish if we could have that, we should have got a lot of things from that. So best of luck, all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tilina. Next, I invite Engineer Tilina Madagama to accept his token of appreciation.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Again, thank you very much for your contribution. So now we are going to announce the volunteer groups and year-round activities for upcoming year. For that, I would like to invite the Chairperson of IEEE Student Branch of Southeastern University of Sri Lanka, Mr. Vipula Wakkumbura.
Good evening, everyone. First of all, I would like to thank our Student Branch Council, Professor Halim and Mr. Vidura Dhananjay and Engineer Tirana Madagam for joining with us today. Then I would like to thank everyone for joining with us this evening. So first, I would explain a little bit about our volunteer program. Last month, we have called for the volunteers. Then after several applications processes, we have selected 6 volunteer team for upcoming year. So now I'm going to use this chance to announce that volunteer team. So please use this great opportunity to boost your skills. First volunteer team will be, yes, congratulations for the membership and finance team. Johan Pereira will be the team leader for the membership and finance team. And there are 4 other members. Congratulations for them. Next, our team will be program team. Program team will be lead by Hani Rasul. And we can see some members, IEEE members and members will be there as a team members. Congratulations for them. We have publicity team, which will be led by Hishan Madhuvashana. Congratulations for the publicity team. The next one is editorial team. So this is full with our sisters and one of our brother. Editorial team will be led by Ganesha Satsarni. Congratulations, and congratulations for the other members also. Design team, the most hardworking team, will be led by our great volunteer Tarindu Ishan, who is the current president of Agnej of our university, and we have 4 other members for the design team. Congratulations for them. Next, we have most important and hardworking team for our IEEE student branch event management team. Here we have 10 volunteers for the event management team, which will be led by Sarat Suja. Congratulations for all of them. Okay, thank you. Also, I will update few things about upcoming events which we are going to planning to conduct in the upcoming months. We are planning to conduct some volunteer training session and some workshop in the upcoming month. So we are waiting for all of you. Thank you for participating in this event. What do you, Kanisha?
Thank you, Mr. Vipula. And this is the best time to wish good luck to all volunteer groups for the year ahead. So next, I cordially invite Mr. Punsisi Kiridana to accept his token of appreciation for the contribution he made in the yesterday Python workshop. And also, I next invite Mr. Lahiru Prabhat to accept his token of appreciation for the contribution he made in yesterday Python workshop.
Thank you so much for inviting me to cooperate with IEEE Sprout. Thank you.
Thank you both again. So the most awaited time has come. I'm sure that you were eagerly waiting to know who are the winners of Code Grade 1.0 competition, which was held today morning. So without any further delay, let us get to know who are the winners today. The second runner-up of Code Grade 1.0 goes to D.N. Ratnasinghe from E18 batch. The first runner-up goes to of Code Grade 1.0 goes to Akil Ahmed Ali from E18 batch. And the champion of Code Grade 1.0 is M.A. Hani Rasul from E17 batch. We congratulate all the winners as well as the participants. I must remind you that the winners will receive valuable prizes. The champion today will receive a valuable cash prize, and 3 winners will receive the IEEE student membership, a free IEEE student membership, and all the participants will receive a laptop sticker. So this is the end of IEEE Sprout, organized by the IEEE student branch of Southeastern University of Sri Lanka for the very first time. Thank you all for being with us from the beginning We hope you will be with us in the future events also. So see you all with another novel experience soon. Until that, goodbye everyone.